Dímelo mi gente, what up? It's your boy Gus from Gus Villa Jewelry here with the ultimate review video. In my table, I have JAXXON, Shop GLD, and our brand new machine-made Miami Cuban link chains. We're gonna go through all three, give you the pros and cons, find out what they are actually made of, and then I'm gonna give you my personal opinion on which one is the best and which one you should buy.
Jewelry.
Here are the three packages. So let's start off with the most obvious one, and that's the one in the middle, which of course is JAXXON. Now we have done a video review of them before. They do make some pretty awesome chains. I've given them a lot of credit.
This is a great buy, so it does get my stamp of approval.
And we won't do the whole regular unboxing where we give you in detail exactly what goes on with each one. We're gonna get down to the nitty gritty, which is the actual construction of the chain. So again, it comes in this nice little beautiful envelope. It's a very clean presentation, which of course I love, but more specifically than anything else, what I do like about JAXXON, of course, is that they are Italian made. Italians, we all know, are beautiful jewelry makers. They are the king of machine made anything. And here it is. Yep, this is exactly how I remember it in my original video. This is the JAXXON 5mm gold over silver. In this particular case, it's 925 if I'm not mistaken. The one thing I could tell you off rip, their plating color is excellent. It is phenomenal, and they have a really nice shine to it. So the ending buff that they do right before they pack and ship it is very, very well done. Same thing as before, the spacing does look a little wide, and the one thing that they lack is my biggest pet peeve with anything that is machine made. The file is never there. The lock on these, they come with a lobster clasp, which is really nice because it's durable. The actual aesthetics of a lobster clasp, for me, it's not great. There's a lot going on. There's two end links with a circle, and then of course the clasp that goes around the hook. I'm more of a traditional box lock type of guy, but that's personal opinion. That has nothing to do with the quality of it. Once again, because of course it's Italian made, it feels nice. There's some nice weight to it. It is 925 silver. And of course, like I said, the spacing is really the only thing I ever have an issue on it for. If you're looking at it from afar, especially in a smaller type of millimeter like this, it does look a little better than the ones that were bigger. I believe the one that we reviewed was about a 7 or 8mm, and the spacing was a bit wider. I like it. It's a very, very nice, well-constructed chain with a very nice plating on it. How long it lasts, I can't tell you. You guys in the comments, if you have shopped with JAXXON, tell me how long this piece has lasted. Now let's go with one of their biggest competitors, with is Shop GLD. Now, they are much cheaper. The price point, I believe, of the JAXXON was about 200 bucks, maybe a little bit less. They had a promo. Shop GLD is much cheaper. I believe they're under $100. And they do have very nice packaging. I will tell them that. Either way, we're not here to talk about branding. We're here to talk about the actual product. So this is the pouch that it comes in. Looks like some sort of pleather. And then, of course, their card, which says that they're going to give you some sort of warranty or something like that. I don't really ever read these, but authenticity and lifetime guarantee. The Jewelry Vigilance Committee standards. All right, it comes with this beautiful, nice little sticker. Nice presentation. Look, these guys got it nailed to a T on their presentation, both JAXXON and GLD. There's a reason that they have some sort of success, right? This is what they sell you on the presentation, and they do it very, very nicely. Now again, comes with the pouch. Let's see what's inside, because like I said, at the end of the day, what matters is the piece itself. So a $25 coupon, if anybody wants one, just hit me in the DM and I will send you that. I believe I ordered the same exact millimeter. This one again is a 5mm, and this here does look very inexpensive. The plating, as opposed to the JAXXON, is the biggest tall tale sign that this is stainless steel or some sort of brass. When you plate gold on top of any one of these lesser expensive metals, it doesn't really grab the color. It kind of changes the color a little bit. And that's kind of the obvious pinpoint when you get stainless steel stuff. There's like this glossy brass look to it. It almost looks like zinc. And yeah, the color is not very nice. The spacing is much, much wider. The lock is the same lock that I've seen on thousands and thousands of Chinese chains. So all this kind of looks the same. And this is kind of the problem with shopping with someone who clearly gets their stuff from China, because they are the kings of mass producing anything. So the spacing is much wider. There's no file. The links aren't soldered. Their machine doesn't solder it. So it just closes the link as tight as it can, and then it just prays that it's never going to rip open. But if you grab 2 pieces of pliers, I'm sure you're going to be able to just clearly just open this up. Like I'm almost bending it open now. Yeah, this is not very good, but for sub $100, maybe this will be more for just like a little kid or anything like that. But if you're trying to go for something that is an everyday wear, this probably is not going to be it. It's just hideous looking. Anybody with 2 pair of eyes, even if you've never seen a Cuban link chain, you're probably going to look at this and say, ugh. Last but not least, introducing our GVJ machine-made chains. Now, we did this a little bit different than everyone because there does have to be some level of quality. I am a big believer in having something that you can wear with pride. We actually bought the machines. They were already imported from Italy. We bought them from someone who would do them normally in gold. We messed around with the settings to try to tighten that spacing because I know that that's a pain point in most of these Cuban link chains that are machine-made. So we do 2 things that are different. Number 1, we tighten those spaces. But the biggest one, of course, is that after the chain is done, we then hand file every single one of these. And then, of course, put a box lock on them. And the box locks are ones that we handmade to begin with, so they fit perfectly for this chain. So without further ado, this is what ours looks like. This again is a 5 and a 4 millimeter chain. If you notice, the biggest thing that you will see is the spacing. The spacing on these are as tight as we could possibly get it with the machine that we have. And then of course, remember the file. The file is actually done by hand. Here's our box lock. Again, we handmade the original one and then casted these so it could be a little bit faster to make. The figure 8s clasp perfectly fine, and this is a more authentic looking Miami Cuban link chain. So yes, they are machine made, but they're kind of machine made because half the process is done by hand. Of course, we hand polish them as well, and we're using our brand new plating system that we purchased. If you haven't seen how we purchased that new plating system, click the link right here. We give you a full analysis of when we actually went on and bought the machine itself. So this should last you a good amount of time with daily wear. It has a nice shine to it. The bad part, of course, is that because they're half and half made, these are a bit more expensive than anything you are seeing here. But ultimately, this is a piece of jewelry that you're gonna wear on a daily basis. This is hand filed, so it's probably the more authentic looking one. I won't do a hang straight test on any of these because no one cares about that to begin with. And of course, they're machine made, so they're all gonna hang perfectly straight. But things to notice about this, the color looks very nice. This is the one that I chose because I like the luster that it has the most. I don't really like that overseas cheesy kind of places like Dubai that like really, really yellow. I like the more Miami Cuban link look, which has a bit of a copper undertone. So let's look at all 3 of these and let's take a better look all stacked right next to each other. Last but not least, we have all these 3 here. I'm gonna hit them with the PMI gun, which of course is this bad boy right here. And it's gonna tell us exactly what type of materials were used to make each and every one of these chains. This one is supposed to be advertised as 925 silver. Looks like it checks out. It's all silver. A bit of strong plating, to be honest with you. It's showing about 1 carat, which means that there's a good amount of gold sitting on top of this. The rest of it is zinc, which of course is probably going to be for the solder, and a little bit of copper to bring it down to 925. That's usually how you strengthen the metal in silver. So this checks out. This looks really nice. This is now the Shop GLD one. This is the one that I'm going to suspect is probably some sort of stainless steel. Yep, that's exactly what it is. FE iron a little chromium, a little nickel, and a little zinc. Very, very little plating, so the gold is probably going to rub off, but they probably put some sort of base layer of something else to absorb the yellow plating and make it last longer. That's how you kind of save on money and still get the same effect. Last but not least is the GVJ one. This is the one that we sell. We plate this with our new machine. We use 950 silver. And of course, it checks out. This one is showing the highest gold content. It's showing about 3 karat, which means that it has pretty strong plating. Of course, we use actual gold and silver. There's nothing else really. It's just a bit 0.06 zinc, copper, rhodium, a bunch of other things at the alloy to bring this down to 950 silver. So this does have the thickest amount of gold of every single one of them. So I think the biggest winner, of course, and I don't want to be biased about this, but I think the most authentic looking one is going to be the GVJ one because of the filing. No matter how much you try to mimic that file, there's nothing that's going to make it look as authentic as if someone actually rubbed the file over it. So the hand filed one tightens the links, and the links are the tightest on the GVJ one. The color, in my opinion, is probably the best in the GVJ, only because I think it's the most authentic to the solid gold ones that we sell here in Miami. However, there's going to be a lot of you guys that like the JAXXON one more because you're more used to that yellowy Italian look. Because it's not filed, there's a little bit more weight to the JAXXON one, which I really like. Obviously, the stainless steel one, I mean, you could barely feel that thing on when you're on your neck. Now, which one do I think you should buy? If you want the most authentic looking one, number 1, GVJ, number 2, JAXXON, and then of course, Shop GLD being the 3. Overall value, I think JAXXON beats me out because it's much cheaper. JAXXON is the better call if you want to save that money. If you're just going for the cheapest, obviously the Shop GLD, but just know that it does come with major quality check issues. So overall, GVJ has to beat it only because I do value looks and quality over anything. But JAXXON doesn't fall far behind. It's still a very good buy under 350 bucks. Let me know in the comments below which one you think is best. I try to be as impartial as possible, but ultimately you guys be the judge. As always, if you are looking for a Miami Cuban link chain, GUSVillaJewelry.com and we can hook you up. There is a bit of a wait time and they only come in batches. We can only make a certain amount before they actually sell out. We'll catch you guys in the next one. Holla.